Back once again for the renegade master. 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 Back once again for the renegade master.
Hello my renegades, and welcome back. And what are we getting back into, or should I say I'm getting onto? Hopefully try and get more videos down before the 7th of March when the full weddings come on. We are back into Love is Blind season 8, and it's episode 7 called Beulah. All I'm gonna say is I'm trying not to trust edits, but when the opening sequences kind of happened with this episode, it looked like so much was going down. It just looked like people were going off half-cocked here, there and everywhere. So before we get into this episode of Love is Blind, as I always ask, please hit that subscribe button, please hit that notification button so we know I'm doing videos. Please comment, like, share and do the good things that you do, because I continue to be on the road to 1k. So we are back to Taylor and Daniel, and I'm just kind of like, if Taylor has this much suspicion on this man already, and Daniel keeps saying that it wasn't him, he keeps on trying to reassure this girl every which way but Sunday, because Daniel's denying it's him, to the point that he was questioned so much that it was kind of like, well, you know what, I don't know, I could have followed you and then not followed you, but I wouldn't have known what you looked like, sort of thing. So he was getting fed into this whole thing just to placate Taylor. All I'm saying that if she didn't believe him at those stages when she's asking him those questions, then it was time to give up the ghost. Like, honestly, it was really time to give up the ghost, because how much more are you going to do? To the point where they give Taylor her phone, and I was like, well, they don't actually give her a phone at first. They give her the choice to have her phone. Then Daniel really looked like he was about to shit 7 shades of grey. I'm telling you that now. That man looked like he was so tense that something was going to crack. I thought, oh, poor Daniel. Really poor Daniel. I hope to God she don't find anything, because if she does, that's it to your relationship. Now, Taylor sat there for a good while, scrolling through these lists of people, and kept going and kept going and kept going, to the point where I think she thought, do you know what, I'm not finding his name, and it's unfair that I'm doing this to this man. Maybe I've imagined this. So she gave up the ghost in the end and didn't bother scrolling anymore, and basically apologized to Daniel in terms of how she came across and how she made him feel in that point in time, when she really well and truly believed that this man knew her before they even went into the pods. She was humbled by the fact of how many people had literally unfollowed her. And I just thought, that shit must not have been easy. And that's why I said, you know what, you should have never asked for your phone back. You should have never got that phone in front of you. Once this man is trying to convince you and telling you, look, I had nothing to do with the situation, or he got to the point where he was literally trying to placate you by saying, I may have followed you and then unfollowed you, but he's definitely saying that he doesn't know anything about this woman. It's either fish or cut bait at the end of the day. So Taylor could have made her decision without actually having her phone back, whether she was going to continue with this man or not, because all it gave her was giving her phone back. Both of them ended up getting anxious, and she didn't find shit. So what was the point of all that drama, to be fair, is what I'm saying. So in the end, Taylor does end up going to Honduras with Daniel, because Daniel did give her the choice of to say, well, if you want to go, we can go, but if you don't, we can go back home and I'll wait for you no matter what. Basically, that's what Daniel's saying, because Daniel is in 100 with this girl. And I keep telling you, with Taylor, she's very hard to read, and she gives us this air that she really does not like this man. But I seriously believe that she has so much insecurities from all the relationships that she's got involved with, that she's literally trying not to place the situation she got in with previous relationships onto Daniel, but she consistently keeps doing it. And I think that's what's holding her back. She doesn't want to have something that she believes is too good to be true, and it all fuck up in the end, basically. So for me, I think Taylor's kind of trying to protect herself. So we have 5 couples. So we have Dave and Lauren, Devin and Virginia, Daniel and Taylor, Monica and Joey, and who's the other one? Sarah and Ben. That's it. Literally had to spring my brain into gear then of who the frick it was. And the only reason why I remembered Sarah and Ben in the end was all I thought of was the Bible. And I thought, yeah, Ben and Sarah. God. Me, I'm gonna call it from here. Dave and Lauren, I don't think marriage is on the cards for them. I don't see it happening between them at all, because I will say it until the cows come home, Dave does not like Lauren. Like, he really does not like that girl, but he's just like bearing with it at this moment in time. There's shit that he says, shit that he does that tells me this man don't like this girl in the slightest. Devin and Virginia could be maybe a possibility, but again, I still don't see it happening with them two. To me, they just look like brother and sister, and they're just coasting along at the moment. They'll say certain things to each other, but it doesn't give me the whole from all the other Love Island, Jesus, why have I got that on my brain? Love is Blind people that have made it through and still married many years later. I don't see that first, oomph. I don't see that first anything with them two. It's just literally, that's how it is to me with Devin and Virginia. Monica and Joey, not enough is seen with them for me to make a full-on view right now as whether to say they will manage to make it to the altar or say yes to each other at the end of the day. Sarah and Ben, I don't see that happening either. I really don't, because Ben's going to do some kind of bullshit shit. Yeah, that's going to come back and slap him in the ass. And Sarah's going to see him for the man that he truly is. I really don't see things working with them two either in the slightest at all, if at all. The only people that I probably would put my bets behind would be Daniel and Taylor. I know they started off proper rocky, and I know that she's quite a closed off person and a closed book, but those two, I would think, would be the ones that would make it all the way through, especially to the altar and say yes to each other. I don't know what it is about them two, but they are coming into their own. So we see Dave and Lauren starting off, and again, Lauren just talks a lot. She talks about how she got a wax, and the waxer had told her that she couldn't have no sex or work out for 24 hours. And Dave said, really, after a wax? And I thought to myself, my guy, if you are so full into cosmetics, yeah, no matter if it's Botox, this, that and the other, yeah, then shouldn't he know something about this? Shouldn't he know how a wax works, especially when it's a Brazilian? Yeah, so Lauren then says, I was bummed as I wanted to do that. I think she meant it as an innuendo. I think she meant it as a joke, but it just it didn't land at all. It was proper crickets. And this is what tells me that this man does not like this woman. Dave don't like Lauren. He really does not. Yeah, because I think sex was the furthest thing from Dave's mind at that point in time. Yeah, that's how his behaviour was giving me that impression. The fact that it literally just went bone-ass quiet and so awkward after Lauren said that told me a lot of things. It seriously told me a lot of things about this man and his view with this woman, and whether he's attracted to her or not, or he's just going through the freaking motions. Because yeah, that pause was bad. It was bad. And I'd done a jokey innuendo like that and it fell flat like that, I'd be embarrassed. Nah, I'm not even saying it's Lauren's fault, but I would be full on embarrassed. Sarah and Ben, they practice poses in the mirror. Them two are just weird. Seriously, Sarah is fully taken with Ben, but I think Ben's gonna have sides that Sarah is not gonna like, and they're gonna come up as the episodes go along. We see Tyler and Daniel, and as I've already said, I believe that they're good together, and low-key I kind of hope they do make it. Low-key I hope that Taylor and Daniel do make it. And then you see Monica and Joey, and they laugh with each other and seem to get on. They're both of the same energy, and sometimes it comes off slightly weird and slightly nauseating. That's what I'm going to say. Do I see them making it to the end and saying yes to each other? Not at this moment. I really don't. So we see a little bit more of Lauren and Dave. And Lauren's become fully attached to Dave. And I said before in previous episode that she will become a stage 4 killing it in this man. And I'm sorry, but Dave ain't going to be worth it. I mean, like, at all. This man thinks the sun shines out of his backside. That's how it is. He thinks that he's a step up or a level up from Lauren. And Lauren is punching. Basically, that's how I think Dave really sees it. That Lauren is punching. Where in essence it's Dave that's punching, to be fair. So you see them get into the pool, yeah, Lauren and Dave, when they get back to the hotel. And this is why I keep saying Dave shows in his actions that he is not committed to this girl. Like, really, deep down, he's not committed to this girl. And I kind of think that he's being kind of a user and it's all an act for him. Because they get into the pool, it is kind of awkward. I ain't gonna lie, there's awkwardness. So Lauren then turns and asks him, how awkward is she being right now? And Dave says not at all. But I think it's because Lauren is picking up on the vibes coming from Dave that she doesn't know what the fuck to do with herself at that moment in time. So the whole situation, while I was watching it, looked hella awkward. And Lauren is totally picking up on Dave's apprehension, but won't read into it. So Lauren, again, for me, did all the talking, reassures herself in that moment with Dave. And all he does is he's silent, he nods and he agrees where he feels necessary at the end of the day. And as I keep saying, this man don't like this girl. He really don't. Someone would have to convince me, like really convince me, yeah, after the episodes that I'm watching so far, that this man really likes her, because I don't see it. I really don't. So you see Tyler and Daniel getting in the pool together while they're relaxing on the first night, and she's basically saying that she's glad she came. Daniel talks about how much he's fallen in love with Tyler because of her. I will be truthful when I say I don't see I want Tyler and Daniel to get married, but in honestly speaking, I don't see any of these people saying yes to each other, like really when and truly saying yes to each other. So it looks like Tyler has gotten over her paranoia with Daniel. And I'm just like, if it works, it works. At the end of the day, we'll just see where the story takes them. So we see Sarah and Ben. And yeah, I'm gonna just have to say, I've not warmed to Ben either at all. The man brought a fan with him. The man bought a raw fan with him because he needed a fan in order to sleep and turn the air on. And this man literally bought a black fan with him. And this fan weren't really small. It wasn't small. So it would have took up space. I don't know how many suitcases he had, but that shit would have took up space in the suitcase on its own. So I really don't know why he bought this fan. I mean, I'm sure they would have had aircon in the hotel, do you know what I mean? So I don't understand why he bought the fan, but hey ho, you live and you learn. It's all about your creature comforts when you're away on holiday. So then we see Monica and Joey talking together. I would say that they are quite dark with each other and very talkative. Monica had a noise machine to help her sleep. She basically said that she needs the constant noise because she is a light sleeper. I'm a light sleeper, but any constant noise like that would do my head in. It would not let me sleep. I would literally be awake all night. So how she got on with being a light sleeper and having that in the background, if it worked, it worked. That's all I can say. Monica was talking about how she was worried that her and Joey's connection might have been different than it was in the pods. But they are both happy that it's the same, that they both have the same energy. But I think there's going to be a crash and burn with them at some point, because that level of energy can't keep going. Someone's going to have to crash and burn at some point. So you see Virginia and Devin, they be hugging in each other in bed. Devin says he's comfortable with her. But yeah, as I said, I don't know about them two either. So we go back to Lauren and Dave as they're getting ready to bed. They're hugging each other. He does kiss her. And it looks like at this point, while he's kissing Lauren, that he may want a little bit more, yeah. But me, myself, I don't think it will get that far, to be honest, between them two. He says it's kind of weird for him, but in a good way. Lauren really wants this to make sense. with him in terms of the emotional and the physical selves of them meeting up. Sometimes when Lauren talks, especially when she's talking about their relationship and getting more in depth about talking about the relationship and how she feels, I find Dave goes very, very silent. That man goes like Scotch Miss Quiet. Like, he really has nothing to say. He just replies, like, after she's waxed poetic about them to be meeting in the physical and in the emotional sense, I am comfortable with you. I mean, he could be just talking to anyone at this point, to be honest with you. Don't get me wrong, I think there's enough level of attractiveness for him to do what it is that he needs to do, bearing in mind he hasn't been with someone for 4 years, yeah? But I really don't believe that he thinks about Lauren beyond that point. Like, seriously. So you see Virginia and Devin have massages with each other, and they're talking about, you know, about family, loving each other, the fact that they're not nervous, and they're both ready basically to get married, and that is so easy with them. I'm just like, yeah, you can see their comfortability with each other, but I don't know if that will equate to them saying yes to each other at the end of the day. I don't know if at this point it is Devin literally saying what Virginia wants to hear, or vice versa. To be honest, Devin does say, like, we did choose each other for a reason. And I'm like, you really didn't choose each other because Brittany stepped away, Devin. Brittany stepped away. Yeah, he was still confused up until that moment. So, yeah, they didn't technically choose each other. So, we skip past and we see David and Lauren waking up together, and he's asking her how their night was, and Lauren says it was good. She talks about how she doesn't necessarily like his snoring. I don't feel it from Dave. I think Lauren's fully invested in this man more than he's invested in her. Dave talks about how he'd been picky physically when he'd speaking about previous partners. And Lauren speaks of how much it takes her to open up emotionally and physically. And I think Dave is kind of finding faults in Lauren. That's how it was coming across to me. This man was kind of finding faults, but trying to play off as though it's some kind of joke, it's some kind of hee ha ha moment, where to me, in my opinion, it really, really wasn't. So he talks about how he came on Love is Blind because he wanted to confront himself and challenge himself to be a better guy and or person. But in my opinion, he hasn't shown that. Because what he said to Lauren about her looks, about her age, for me, he just hasn't learned anything. Like, really not necessarily learned anything. I'm still trying to work out what role his sister has in his life, basically. He talks about he's able to talk to Lauren and open up. And although Lauren wants Dave to be in the present with her, I think Dave is constantly thinking about the backlash and potentially what his sister could think about everything and how he's going to explain it to her. So, you see Sarah and Ben, they're on a yacht. Ben talks about how he fell in love with Sarah for who she was. But when he met her, it was when he found her attractive. So is love truly blind is what I'm saying, because by the time you get to see the person that you've asked to be engaged to, yes, through that process you don't know who they are and you're just going by what it is that they're saying, how they sound and things like that, and the connection that you have building with each other there. But if that person, as we've seen on some Love is Blind, especially when it comes to like the Love is Blind that isn't as part of the UK or the US, when those doors open and they don't find that person attractive, they have then turned around and decided not to continue. Do you know what I mean? So love is not truly blind as they wish it to be at the end of the day. Not much is standing out about these couples for me, to be honest, as again, Tyler is a closed book. She says that she does make the right call to come to Honduras with Daniel, and Tyler feels a lot of guilt about the situation that occurred before they come to Honduras, and she regrets how she handled it. But at the end of the day, my thing is, it's what happened at the time. It's what happened at the time. It's the information that she believed, that she thought she had, which brought it to the forefront in regards to her own insecurities, in terms of her believing Daniel knew her before they came on this show. Now, my question would be is if she found something of that nature on her phone, how would she have handled that differently? Would she have remained the same in that sense? Would she have been able to overlook that situation with him? So in that essence, Tyler's insecurity took over and she allowed that to be placed on Daniel at the end of the day, not really having a full indication that, you know what, this is what this man has done, and I know for a fact that this is what this man has done. It was just based on an assumption. So with Daniel and Tyler, they do have deeper conversations than I've seen the rest having at the end of the day, but it seems that Tyler has had like really bad relationships that have done a number on her to a point where it comes off in her behavior. So I think she tends to hold herself back, and you can see that even when Daniel validates her constantly, she literally does not know how to take that from him. Like, it literally seems to discombobulate her and scare her, so she has to kind of temper in terms of what it is her reaction she's going to be afterwards. So you see Monica and Joey, and they're having a date, and Joey talks about the fact that, you know, he suffered with OCD. He does talk about it. He says it was something that he could control when things happened that he couldn't control. And he talked about how he would literally find himself counting things. I mean, I've not seen him do it while he's been on the show, especially with Monica. So I kind of thought maybe he's had therapy for it. So, and then it was good that he could talk to Monica about it. But then Monica was open to this talk, and she was interested, and she listened to what it is that Joey was saying. And it was the fact that Joey said that actually the changes came about when he made the changes to his behaviours on his own. And I kind of hope that that's true, but I don't know how true that would be, because I'm still trying to gather the sense of how you can combat OCD without actual any professional help in place, that you just do it by yourself. So we will live and learn to see if that happened with Joey in actual fact. So then we see Virginia and Devin together again. And I'll keep saying, I just don't know about these two. They're both comfortable with each other and excited to be with each other. I'm just getting brother and sister vibes from them, or some type of family vibe from them, rather than like their lovers type of vibe. Do you know what I mean? And I just can't put my finger on why, but that's the vibe that I'm getting from them. Even when they were in the pool and Virginia dipped her head back, like supposedly in a sexual pose, it took Devin ages to latch onto the fact that, you know what, maybe I should make a move. Do you know what I mean? And I do kiss, and I mean like actually properly kiss, and even then I still don't see it between them. I really don't. So then we see Dave and Lauren, and they're heading down to, I think they're going on some type of yacht for the day, and they're going for a boat trip, and within that they start to hold hands as they're walking down, and Dave automatically says that, you know, the holding of the hands feels weird, and Lauren says that she's not much of a hand holder either, but they continue to hold hands. So he brings up the fact that Lauren, he said now Lauren doesn't move around a lot, but he will highlight the fact that this woman pees a lot in the night. And I'm just like, if a woman has to go to the toilet, the woman has to go to the toilet. Just as long as she ain't pissing on you, then you're good. Do you know what I mean? I don't understand why Dave takes a little issue and makes it into a big one. Even though he then tries to make light of it, you could tell that it's still an issue for him. The fact that she gets up as much as she does to go to the toilet. I'm like, just be grateful the woman ain't pissing on you at the end of the day. So he confirms, Dave does, that him and Lauren are not having no sex. Yeah, but he has seen her naked, and like, okay, we really needed to know that, but you know what, you go off. He says that he can tell that Lauren is not ready yet, and he says that that's fine. I'm just like, but is it really fine? Because if it was really fine, then why would you bring it up? Why would you make it such a big thing that you and her aren't having sex yet? And if she's not ready yet, and you can tell that she's not ready yet, then why are you splaying out your private business across the regions? At the end of the day is what I'm saying. So Dave wants to stay in the moment with Lauren a little longer, is what he's saying, with the outside world and the phones, because when that happens, I think this man is going to absolutely spiral on this girl, like fully spiral on this girl. So Dave and Lauren says that it's nice that they've been able to talk and to sleep together and it be comfortable, like they didn't have no expectations. Then he says to Lauren, there is nothing that she's doing that says to him, fuck it, I don't want this, do you know what I mean? Or I can't deal with this. And I thought, that's because right now, my friend, Lauren's being actually agreeable to the shit that yous are getting under, yeah? In the real world, namely his sister hasn't entered the chat yet, so there ain't no issues pushing up against them. But when those issues start, and I know that they're coming, yeah, then there'll be an issue with Dave saying, I don't know if I want this at the end of the day. So Dave says there's nothing that says to him, oh, I hate this so much. And then after a pause, he then mentions Lauren's hairstyle, which she's plaited down for the day in two plaits side by side. And then when he says I was kidding, yeah, he only said I was kidding because Lauren turned around and because she paused in what the fuck she was saying after he said that, and just gave him a look at the end of the day before she speaks again. And I'm like, this is why I'm telling you, when this man says shit like this, he is not joking. He is not joking. When he says it, he actually means it. He's seeing how far he can take his bullshit with this girl at the end of the day. He doesn't want to bum out on the first go round at the end of the day. He doesn't want to upset her when there's a potential for her opening her legs for him. That's how I'm going to see it at the end of the day. So it then shows Lauren speaking to the camera and saying Dave asked her if she dated anyone before coming on the show. And I'm just like, okay, before it got back to Lauren, it spanned to Dave. And I thought, well, it must have been a yes. And she told Dave who it was, because apparently Dave is saying that he knows Lauren exes. And I thought, oh, what a small world we live in at the end of the day. So Lauren basically said that she was talking to someone a couple of months before she came onto the show. They didn't necessarily date, but Dave apparently has mutual friends with this person. So basically, in essence, Dave don't know this man from a hole in the freaking wall. It's friends of his that know this man. There's gonna be trouble in paradise. There really is. There's gonna be trouble in paradise. The fact that Dave turned around and says that I don't want this to affect our relationship when we go back says it all. Dave is going to make it a problem. He's going to make it a problem. So Lauren then is having to explain the situation with the guy that she was talking to. And I'm like, I don't understand why she's feeling the need to do that, because at the end of the day, it was before Dave and her ever met, before they got engaged, and months before she even got on the show. So I won't be explaining a damn thing at all, because at the end of the day, it's none of Dave's business what happened before him. At the end of the day, what should be his business is what happens going forward. So she basically said to him that he was not a boyfriend, or, you know, in that sense, and he'd never met any of her friends. So Dave says, well, I've never had a girlfriend in 4 years. So he honestly thought that everybody coming onto Love is Blind would be in the same boat. And I thought, mate, that was your choice that you hadn't had a girlfriend in 4 years. And there's probably a reason behind why Dave hasn't had a girlfriend in 4 years. Let's just put it that way. So then he talks about Molly. I'm like, why does this man feel the need to always bring up different women to this gal? Like, seriously, why does he always feel the need to it? So he talked about Molly, how he didn't hold it against her, like, because she told him in the pods that she got out of something 6 months ago. So I'm like, why is this man making Lauren feel like shit for meeting someone months before the pods? So all I kept on thinking is Dave needs to back his ass down, really, to be fair, because what he's doing ain't fair. It ain't that deep, to be honest. So Dave is now questioning if Lauren is ready for marriage after she saw someone so recently. I'm like, who cares? I mean, someone could be out of a relationship for 4 years of Dave, but does it mean anything? Does it necessarily mean that Dave is ready for marriage? Because the question will be is, why was he single for so long? Do they have what it takes to make marriage work? And I honestly don't think that they do. So Dave asked Lauren, are you nervous, like, going back and, like, him talking to Molly? And I thought, what kind of bullshit game is this man playing now? So Lauren was kind of silent, and you could see that question pissed her off royally, and asked him, does it make him nervous? Man didn't answer the question, just said, well, it's gonna happen, sort of thing. And I thought, this right here is why I don't like Dave. Why would he feel the need to throw up Molly in this woman's face like that for, like, seriously? Because he feels out of sorts due to the information that Lauren shared with him in confidence, and now he's sitting there freaking worried about it. What is he worried about? At the end of the day, Lauren's told you exactly what had happened. You accepted for Molly, like, you know, she'd been out of a situation for 6 months, and Lauren wasn't necessarily dating the person that she was dating in the months before she came into Love is Blind. And at the end of the day, it was way before she fucking met Dave. So it really has necessarily nothing to do with him. But this is where the episode ended. I'll be back in quick succession with the next episode. As I always ask my renegades and anybody else that comes in, please hit that subscribe button, please hit that notification button so we know when I'm doing videos. Please comment, like, share, and do the good things that you do, because I continue to be on the road to 1K. Peace out.